right, all right. There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. Welt and Rheaume. Make sure you call my friends in Hollywood if you have a case or if you think you have a case. The consultation is free. Ask for Jeff Welt. He will listen to you and tell you if you have a case. 954-966-4646. All right, Mr. Marcel Louis Jacques, what did you think of Fangio's answer of not playing X on Diggs? Because it seemed to be pretty weak sauce.
I don't think it's something that you're going to see an NFL coach kind of pop out and admit right away, like, oh yeah, I was wrong. Oh yeah, we should have done this. We should have done that. Hindsight's always 20/20. But I think it's learning experience, though. Kidder Cole, 158.3 passer rating. You know, Kidder is my guy, man. He's a good dude in the locker room, good player. Miscast as an outside corner there. Definitely should not be left on an island against a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now. At the very least, probably should have been.
It, but Marcel, the way he kind of answered it, it was like, well, you can second guess it. Yeah, I guess. No, there's no guess, bro. You were wrong. You were dead wrong. You have to live and die with your best corner. There's no guess. There was no adjustment. And so that's, to me, is it a learning experience? That's the part I don't know because, one of the things that I brought up was Josh Gaddis. And last year, they fired Josh Gaddis, and he won the Broyles Award for the best offensive coordinator in college football with Michigan. Okay, he comes to Miami, and he wants to run the Michigan offense, but, dude, you have a spread offense with a spread quarterback. And it was a disaster for several weeks until towards the end of the season when he started to add elements of spread and Van Dyke's play improved. So he finally made the adjustment. And to me, this is my problem. And I know that you guys were having this conversation in the media room today. All coaches, when they take over offense, defense, you're going to inherit a bunch of people that don't fit. Well, you can't force the square peg in the round holes. You have to adjust your scheme to fit what you currently have at the moment until you can get your players in, and then you can go full board with your scheme. It doesn't seem like that's the case with Fangio. It seems like it's square pegs in round holes instead of him adjusting to what he has, because guys like his middle linebackers, they're not thumpers, and you're playing them that way. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it is going to be a problem, and there's going to be kind of a learning curve in year one, but we knew that. And he's more or less been telling us that for the past 4 or 5 months, saying things that, we need got some players in some spots. We're going to have to find some in some other spots. He wasn't being coy. I think he was being pretty honest with us. But again, the unwillingness to kind of like shift on the fly, like shift in real time.
Oh, he froze because he's moving here.
It was a bit of a concern.
No, it's moving. Okay.
I don't know.
Now you're going to have to repeat that whole thing. Go ahead now.
I said he's been basically telling us for the past 3, 4, 5 months that they need to find some guys at some of these positions. Like, he wasn't all sold, all in, full steam ahead on this defense as assembled. So, like, we know that it was going to be a learning curve. We knew it was going to be, going to take some time to acclimate. Not to mention, man, like, Buffalo's good offense. It's a really good team. It's a quarterback that lights Miami up. Doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is. Like, this has been, he lit up Flo. He lit up Boyer. He lit up Fangio. Like, it happens. Like, I don't think the sky is falling here. I think that they've changed a little bit without Jalen Ramsey. I think, it's not like he's going to stop the run or he's going to single-handedly make them a top 4 defense in the league right now. But considering the personnel, they need to be a lot better than this, no matter who is on injured reserve and who is healthy.
Yeah, that's the part that's kind of iffy when you look at what's going on. All right, so where do you go from here when you talk about this defense and playing against the run? What do you do with Bradley Chubb? Are you using more AVG? How are you handling all of this?
That is why Vic Fangio is making $6 million, and I am not. that is not a question that I know how to answer fully right now. I think you kind of you have to let guys acclimate. You have to let guys just kind of get comfortable within the scheme. But it's also up to them. Bradley Chubb's got to win his one-on-one matchups. They can't be relying on Jalen Phillips to be on the field. Christian Wilkins has to win his one-on-one matchups. They have to be able to wrap up. I know Josh Allen is very hard to tackle, but you have to be able to wrap up and finish off a play. If you're Jerome Baker, you're David Long. Long has looked a little bit better. Baker, at times, it feels like he's thinking instead of playing. And that just goes with time in the system. There's one thing to learn it in OTAs and in training camp when you're playing against yourself. It's a whole nother thing when an offense is game planning for the things that they're expecting from you, and they're throwing different looks at you. So it is simply going to take some time. I know everybody kind of expected a revamped unit just like that, but it's just simply going to take some time. That's all we can say. Deshaun Elliott was clearly a more important piece than I think some people gave him credit for when he was considering he missed that Buffalo game. I thought Brandon Jones did not necessarily play his best game. That long touchdown is going to go against Kader Kohu, but Brandon Jones did not help him out much.
Was he ready? Was he ready, Marcel? Because it just didn't. I felt bad for Brandon. It looked like physically he wasn't ready to play football, man. It didn't look like him, dude. You know what I'm saying?
No, and we've seen better play from him. So, I'm not really I'm not going to hop on the bandwagon of Brandon Jones can't play. Brandon Jones shouldn't be.
No, can't play. No. I mean, physically,
he can play, but
not
physically,
recovered. Yeah, he didn't look recovered, bro.
Feels like I think this is a team, that has erred on the side of caution in recent memory. If they didn't think that he was capable of playing, I don't think that he would have played.
You're right.
I don't think he would have played.
You're right. You're right. They have been super cautious and they've been smart about that. But man, that poor kid, he did not look comfortable, man. I felt bad for him. I really felt bad for him because I can't even pick on the kid. I can pick on Chubb, but I can't even pick on Brandon. I just kind of felt like he was not ready for that moment. Maybe as the weeks go on, he'll get a little bit more comfortable, and then things will round out a little bit because he's a good player, man. He was turning the corner last year before that injury. Your thoughts on how things were handled offensively by the team this past week, and what do they got to do? Because we've seen a couple of these moments now in the first year and 4 games for McDaniel that when he does get stifled, there isn't a counterpunch to it.
And I know this has been the popular topic of the popular sentiment in this segment here, but everything is a learning curve. Mike McDaniel is in year 2. These are, abandoning the run game too early. Like, that's something that you accept happening in year 1. It's something that shouldn't happen in year 2, especially when you got a guy in Devon Achane who is fine. He can find gaps. He can find gaps. That's how this Bills run defense works. Is you knock on the wall, you knock, you find a crack, and then you punch through it. Like, that is how they are susceptible to giving up big gains. You saw it. You saw the Jets do it. You saw it. Obviously, Achane did it on Sunday. It just seemed like they panicked a little bit, and it seemed like once they got negative field position and they couldn't stop the Bills. Bills went up a score or 2 scores. Then it became like a matter of pressing and trying to manufacture yards, and then you get cute. The toss on the toss sweep on 3rd and 1, and bouncing outside on 4th and 1, and running screen passes on 3rd and short. Like, it did feel like a little reactive than it did an offense trying to set a tone and dictate the terms. It felt like throughout the game, Buffalo's defense dictated the terms. And then, I thought Tua played fine. They forced him to progress through his reads, which is not something he had to do throughout the season to that point. I'm not willing to say he can't progress through his reads. but he hasn't had to, so I'm not faulting him for not doing it in games 1 through 3.
No, but Marcel, where they did really well, it wasn't so much his first read. They also took away his second read a lot of times, and then because now you're getting to the third, all of a sudden now you need time, and then that's what became the crunch. Because all of a sudden now you can get to him because the centers there's a weakness or somebody made a mistake along the line somewhere else or something along those lines, and that was kind of the catch-22 for Tua there. That the pressure along with the scheme, and I think that's why McDaniel when he shook hands with McDermott, he said, "I respect the F out of you," because he basically outcoached the hell out of him in that game. And those players, dude, when you rewatch that tape, those Buffalo players were on target, bro. I mean, they knew exactly where to go. They knew not to bite with motion. They read that offense really well and reacted to it perfectly,
Hey,
bro.
there's
Perfect.
something about that Bills team that I think we probably, it's hindsight's 2020, but we should have discussed more and in length last week, which is their ability to take away what an offense does best. It's something I've seen from them since 2019 when I saw them more or less shut down Lamar Jackson. I think they were the first team to just run nickel against Lamar Jackson, put as much speed as you can on that field. Like, they're very good at making you at taking away your fastball, I think is the term. They're good at taking away your fastball. And on Sunday, the Dolphins change up, the Dolphins curveball wasn't hitting.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't hitting. That's for sure. You like them to win this week, I would imagine, right?
I do like them to win this week. I know that they've said, I like what McDaniel said the other day, yesterday, that if you start looking at things like a get right game, then you're gonna get a lesson taught to you. You're gonna get taught a lesson, and
Yeah.
so I don't think they're gonna underestimate the Giants on Sunday. But on paper, the talent level is, I can't even say night and day. It's day and a time of day we haven't even discovered yet. They are not even in the same cycle in
No.
terms of talent level on their rosters. Like, it should not be a game. This should be a game Miami wins by multiple scores. It should
Easy.
be. But on
Yeah.
the other hand,
You
like,
should win
wow.
the next 2 weeks. The next 2
But if
weeks
you but
are games that you're supposed to win. Philly is the next test. That's the real next test,
yeah,
you
but
know.
like I'm saying, on that same thread, as humbled as Miami is, the Giants were also embarrassed on national TV.
Okay.
Embarrassed on national TV. So it's not like Miami's the only team that's playing for something right now. And while it was against the Cardinals, like, we have seen the Giants put something together in a hurry. They're very well coached with Brian Dable and Wink Martindale. Like, it's a team I expect this coaching staff to extract more than the sum of their parts out of. But so, like, I wouldn't, go into this game, if you're a Dolphins fan, I wouldn't go in thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a breeze. This is easy. This is that. Like, there's some experience on this team. There's some talent on that team, and if they put it together, Daniel Jones is mobile. Like, if that line can can hold a block or two, and Miami's front seven isn't getting pressure on him, Daniel Jones is somebody who can cause fits for you because of his mobility, because of his ability to move a defense with his legs and force people out of position. If your scramble drill is not tight, you could get embarrassed. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, there's no plausible scenario in which the Giants win this game. There shouldn't be. But it's not like they're playing, some sort of JV team. It's they still have to come ready to play. Still have to come ready to play.
All right. Well, I've been very critical of Fangio this week, along with Mike McDaniel, and the way they really mishandled this game, because this is the game where you really got measured. I'm not ready to go into where some people are. I'm sure you've gotten some of it. I've been getting it. It's some here on the chat board and everything. Some people think that the defense has quit on Fangio. Two, some people think that Fangio is just here for a check. I don't think either one is right, but I'll
No.
let you answer it.
No, there's, first of all, look, man, there's too much work involved in this league, at this level. There's way too much work involved for people to just come in, punch a clock, cash checks, If you're a coach, like it's not worth it. This man was just on the beach for the past year chilling. Like it's not worth it it's not worth it to do that. And it's 4 weeks in, guys. Like it's 4 weeks in. This team's 3-1. This team's 3-1. That panic button should have dust on it still. You shouldn't even be looking at that yet. Things are going to be fine. Again, they got New York and Carolina back to back. On paper, you should win those games. All of a sudden, you're looking at 5-1, right? They got Philadelphia. That's going to be tough. Philadelphia doesn't look like a world beater.
You got to start winning those games, bro. That's where I disagree. That's where
if you want to win a Super Bowl, you got to be able to beat Philly on the road.
Well, then that's where the panic needs to start setting in. It's not about beating the middling and shitty teams. You got to perform against the Bills. You got to perform against Kansas City. You got to perform against Philadelphia. You got those 4 games on this schedule. You got to win some of those games, bro. You got to start. Just appearing in the playoffs is not enough. It's just not enough. You got
not with the money that they've spent, not with the picks that they've sent out, not with like you have to start with. But the thing is, the beauty of it is, if you're a Dolphins fan, here's the beauty of it. You get the Eagles this year. You get the Chiefs this year. You get 2 shots at the Bills. You get the Ravens. You get the Cowboys. Like there's going to be a lot of opportunities this year for this Dolphins team to measure up against an elite or top tier team in the NFL and prove it. Like it's not like they get, one game against the Bills, 2 games against the Bills, and then that's it. And you don't know what this team can do in prime time. You don't know what this team can do against the heavyweight. Like there's going to be so many opportunities. So by the time the end of the season comes around, we don't know exactly who the Miami Dolphins are. That's the beauty of it. You're going to know exactly who the Miami Dolphins are.
We will. And if they don't start winning those kind of games, it'll be very disappointing. And to me, that's my only concern about this Sunday that just passed. I need you to perform better in these kind of games. If you can't do that, and the worst part was there wasn't a Buffalo performance like this last year. Last year, you beat them and hung in there with the other 2. And what you did last time, unacceptable, bro. So, all right, you got a prediction?
Yeah, I mean, I got Dolphins by 2 scores. I don't want to do points, but I got Dolphins by 2 scores. The line is, I think, 11.5 right now.
Right.
I'd take the over. I'd take the Dolphins.
Beautiful thing. All right, Marcel, Louis, Jacques, tell them what you got going on ESPN, my brother.
Everybody's favorite rookie in South Florida, Devon Achane. Is it time for him to get a bigger role? The numbers say yes. The numbers say yes. So look out for that story on ESPN.com.
All right, you got it. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. You know who's sitting next to me, Marcel? A guy that could kick your ass and my ass at the same time. Okay? Ken Shamrock. Sitting right next to me now. Okay? He could kick our asses with his arms tied and his legs tied. Okay? That's how bad of an ass this guy is. Okay? So we got a badass coming up here. How about that? What do you think, Marcel? You want to get in the ring with Ken Shamrock?
I'm a talker. I'm not really a fighter. I'm not a fighter.
There you go.
No, thank you. I'm not trained. I'm not trained yet, man.
That's it. You and I are talkers, not fighters. That's it. I like that. I like that. All right, my brother. You be good out there. We'll talk later.
Yes, sir.
You got it. Welt Rheaume, baby. They're in Hollywood. 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, condo damage, criminal damage, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call my guys if you think you've got a case. Maybe something happened a couple of months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. Statute of limitations may not have run out. You don't know. You don't know all the laws and all the loopholes. Neither do I. But Welt Rheaume does. Call them. The consultation is free. You just tell them, hey, look, this is what happened, and they'll tell you if you got a case. 954-966-4646 for Welt Rheaume.